지진벌소던 유미장 돈의 모놈 전부가 겨 다그르 다른 감산도 실물도 돈다들 제잖아 기시험사를 오늘 전으로 전이 정금서 저걸 되게 있었나 일날 지금 반조자라서라는 공개 도반보를 신지로 공개 도반보를 신지로 공개 도반보를 신지로.
The supreme profound Dharma rarely met in countless eons. Now I see, hear, and uphold. May I grasp the Buddha's true meaning to liberate all beings, generate supreme bodhicitta. Today, according to our Tibetan calendar, first time Shakyamuni Buddha turned Dharma wheel, auspicious and sacred day. On this very day, in recorded history, according to the tradition of the Dharma King, the wish-fulfilling jewel, Jigme Phuntsok, every year, whenever this day inevitably arrives once again, the Bodhisattva vows are formally transmitted here. In the later years of the Dharma King's life, sometimes he transmitted, sometimes not, but we remember that in the early years, basically the Bodhisattva vows were, in essence, transmitted every year. When away the Bodhisattva vows were given.
I remember back then in 1987 when we were at Mount Wutai. At that time, we were also transmitting the Bodhisattva precepts.
Whether the vows were transmitted in India, I don't remember very clearly. But when the Dharma King was at the Institute, almost every year the sacred Bodhisattva vows were conferred. After the Dharma King's parinirvana, we very much wanted to confer the Bodhisattva vows in accordance with the Dharma King's lineage method. But at that time, we didn't have the ritual text. The Dharma King gave it, didn't notice. Once the king leaves, we realized how important this ritual manual was. Although we had the ritual for arousing bodhicitta
in Patrul Rinpoche's writings,
rituals transmit bodhisattva vows. We always felt we'd received it before. So this bodhisattva vows ritual text is very important, but we were never really able to find it. This winter I found a audio recording, the Bodhisattva vows ritual text from when the Dharma King conferred them. Hearing this delighted me, like a wish-fulfilling jewel lost for many years, had just been recovered again. This feeling is truly indescribable. It is beyond words. I immediately transcribed the Vajra words of our precious Guru into text and shared with some of our related Khenpos. No matter what, I translated it into Chinese at the very first possible opportunity without any hesitation. Today, we will use the method transmitted by the Dharma King, confer the Bodhisattva vows upon everyone. Before this, I think Tibetan may increase. This ritual text has both Chinese and Tibetan versions. I think among us here, monastics, people use this method, confer the Bodhisattva vows upon others. In that case, all the content of the beginning and end, content Dharma King taught. If it is all passed down as a complete lineage, that would probably be best. In that case, tonight's teaching might be a bit longer than usual, but that's all right. We can just sleep a little less. 4th day, 6th lunar month. Sleeping a little less and doing a bit more virtuous practice is also good. Didn't plan, but after I saw this ritual manual just now, I thought it would be best if I conferred it to everyone myself, because in this way, I definitely have, for some scriptures, I'm unsure I had the lineage just reciting and reviewing them for everyone. But as for the Bodhisattva vows, when the Dharma King conferred them, I was present. So it's not that I'm passing on the lineage to everyone just because I listened to a recording. It's not like that, because then I remember there was one occasion when Tibetans came, they requested the Dharma King. Dharma King agreed, transmitted. I remember this very clearly as well. I should have been present at the scene when the Dharma King gave the transmission. Whether the scriptural citations here or all of these Vajra words, I'll recite them first, then confer the Bodhisattva vows. In this case, this time might be just a bit longer than our usual classes, perhaps. But in any case, I think everyone should be able to accept this. I'll recite Tibetan version. Since there is a bit more in Tibetan, it depends on how they printed it. Today, our Samantabhadra Cloud offering assembly here to all a very large copy of the Ksitigarbha 10 Wheels Sutra. Today, Khenpo Chara also spoke extensively about its merits, including how its printing blocks are really excellent. The entire contents, including the paper and ink, as well as all of the design and planning, they have all been crafted with great care and precision. Gift for all 10 Wheels Ksitigarbha. Everyone knows its merits are extremely great. For the Dharma friends here reciting the sutra, we just offered everyone a copy of the Ksitigarbha 10 Wheels Sutra, right? The merits of the Ksitigarbha 10 Wheels Sutra need not be extensively explained here. I will first recite the Tibetan version.
Yang chu nyam bi kun de sho par nam je log br chu de sam bar sha de la gang sam bar sha wi chu na ta ti rang ri kon lob sam ma lab sam lob dang na ni par ka tan ju ji mi li ram bo che ni de cha par ka ge wi shi ni dam cha da de le jang jar ka tan bi chu na chu ji nyam bo dor je ta ba dam jar wi ner kum dar yang tak bi dam ba nyam sab long ne tan ju ton yu ma shi na Xi ma li ji wang de song de ngang song ne sim so zi jie ren jie na di di sang jie dang shang zhe san wa zhen gen gi jiang jiu ber men ni ber ma zi de ren ge li ji wang ge din zhu zha zang yang tu ber men jie ro di na tam chi ki tong mer lo do na ba ji go ne rang ji de zhong re xia gu ba yin de jia zhe xian bo jie wa li dan zhen de na nie ber sen de ka ji dong zhu ber to ber jie ra la to ber jie ra ji dong zhu to ber jie ra to ber有些错别Garten de la Pamber Mabjab na shi in the Yang Jura Kalanjer, Jikon Bartava Yana, Tir, Tavi Chub Jupter and Tamburtomba, Tijin Yadrigam Mubab, some dimitibi Shirton Temperature, number of some dimitiba Somo, Tele, Parcha, Lodro Mamba, Lodrum Rambo, Gazila, Gonel Somba, and Lodrum Choton, and becomes Namla Sonjan, Redu de Shanjip, Topala, de Sanji, Sarah Sherber, Rinchin Shanjip, Sem. Ranjip Shanjip Semji, Samjit Kona, Yendeti, Shernap Shanjip Sem the Mayan, Gavista, Kingi Jam Pamper Karte, the young Nimaring of Dovir Kam Dana, Mageva Dan Yumumbi, Tigni Tsogna Member Manafta Rapton Trigger gave it now, and Nimatan Davi Gutta. Tacher, Jirkirjit now at Samia Mepiti Subsunum Damba Kashi La, Discovering some Lungi, Logan Giverta, we gave it now at Johnson Mouth or Tier, Jera Mayan Tete, Mountain Be Shungan Banjumber Shebaton gave you. Cabaret Tier Shebala and Shanju Sim the Kuna, Yamsalan Gobayente, Janchip Kunjik Chimole, certain some woman of Maram Nalon Jirkachi, Ravnoton Batter Divisions and Jim Dave, Yalom Najitim Sonum, Lodru Tangam Jojik, Bartava Yena, Tirtaver and Shanjip Sim. Dr. Zilak Tamchi Jim Johnny, Pande Malibi, Jirchiber Jereva, Consum, Semchen Tamchi, Dungur Maliba, Yons, Sheba, Deke, Lokso Maliba, they looked on the Berjebandale, Habiton Batiji, Jamtedam Jeba Tamchi, Kari Varda, Karatimi Varda, Rapt of Taxan Saprashina, Nibber Menjerte, Circuit, Karatam Ragum Zabai. Turnam Namjin Daniel Pambras and in a submitivo, Sonam Jev, Dem Jode Long to Tober, Shidder, to be doing her Japjum, Dotans, Hemjan, Semjan of the Saran Dobada, Demon Japjo Shepherd Dovijan, Chance of Sim the start of Tam of Shazil, from Batava Yen, Chance of Sim the La Lanchi Jebat Samiam, near the Chance of San Horan, Chance of San Wartera in Petit, and Zonte Man Nature. 在这上就生活习下当当那几年几天就文保当家生当长巴当可乐给人老说把这个有多做他们自己热里这样萨拉的那些基本没修人出不给人搞上不突然就来演的这个的上就生几天那个几跟可乐当当比年头那的时候那么这些就学生之间他们这边确实就是从把他们演的那像这几甚至几马子比另外就给是像刚些他们马红巴当罗伯红巴当山拉这巴当九巴当空出来说边这边就来演的上就生自怎么给这穷怎么样？那个他当米dem着什么没结巴当他对这是他对这的长马的长马都结巴的，公的别人在别人在别地有把马演的这样给好像。跟吃上人的那么这有点那在不人家儿年的，像是身体就像到不了样，这边嘛是，别人家是从把大个样呢，像这什么的人家来见你见的，普马到的伢们那边的经一边咱们别里人啊拉索比对吧？排斥什么的。当别人家玩的搞的种子历史人家在地普通沙拉的把这毛多把你里面的生都个把都没过的马因比兰章山那牛节的来的，就把这毛线把连把当都被路不人把老手被对吧？没给吧他们吃呢，或者那点体米思想那事他们吃的用手找把人的，该几个样就没去把人的这个的对吧？现在没是去那样花了的呢。जिबा छिम्बोर तर गंगला तेने इची जोरजेर बा तेला वचन नाम जी चिमे तेना तेने तिमति मेजन दिक्चन नाम काजी की जंग एबर चौसे बा ते पा खोदा मे पा ना शामगुम लोदन दाम्बे नोरजन शेते जिखुम बा ताबे यन तेनो सोर मुबा सेम की जी पायोन जिबेले क्योंजिले ग तंबोले चरक सोंबा जंदम दुर दिबा चम यन गेब्रम दुर दि तंबो कोपाले खुइ यादन समच चम जिर कोने जेसर छबा तेले जानशी कोबा यन ते तायु शान जिब जन ना से ये ना मुबा दन जिबे सेमनी有的点，那就是说，那个年纪人马上就过年就把人那点，你那这个身体把那点来讲，朋友去把人的点那种，刚那种的，刚那种的，甚至呢，看嘛，他也รับ的这里是么多把一甚至是甚至样的，两节把点那种点那六个嘛没节讲，所以那么些点么这边都嘛是，那么看人把รับ的种是，从一把大的门子给甚至的到这个人家那那朋友点来讲去把人的甚至老没比。Shawara ngusi jigbane zon chit simchin lu mabdang war sa tong mawshung ga war to ge wala ngusu jona phang samgi mi ba lu yo de te karte ge wa mabdra pa tang wa me pa tang ta mo dang le dang kar dang tro la so ba lu ma tan ji shawan ga ji ki da war tir jang ti ge sa na chu chimbu jun jin dan za ba me ban jong wa yin de dan ta pa tang je per lo zong ki na ji ba le mam mo simchin ton gi shir te jang shbar nam gi ji jean ji zem ji ti zem ba ge sa na zen kang da kang yang man ja ba pa sam gi me ti ba yo te yo ber jim sen no yer sim chen chat me pa la dans die kora chat de var dan je sang ji ji sa so mu ba ge che sam ba chat me ba dan dan bi shir na ge sa yang chat me ba na ber man ba yang chat me bi dan cha yim ber song de no ge sa jen dang mu ja bi cha ber yin jan yo jim song jan ji ker go ne sha na khwe na sim chen nam ji la no zam sar lo nyam do sa na yang pan dok sam ba dang den de so no khmet dan jer ne sim chen re re de wa khmet khod me ba sar ndo de jang re re pan yo khmet日本多把木就国际公把他的sem情绪跟古那位的或者咱们这边年比三百上波就有那样的朋友三级没给把因此多的空档一下呢我得混在我们讲给莫就跟过了这Kurlu kur jimbam thongwa tse tela nyangje kene tir dengur ngala member kirchik samba zamji kyang ngasungur dengur tele thar chorde thori ligne sir keverin gerwa la sobe semjik chikla natsam sir kirchik nyambi samba ter tawe phayon dana namka dam nyambe semjin tamche ki ton jibr nyambi samba phayon muchugo jaya pambar samba zamji kyang sanjim chobar le chadam pha semjin mali tamche ki dedun sombar muchugo ji 샘친 흑지기라가 먹네 판도 집산 바카르보 락직티네 쪽 저직비산 제라트담 제바 탐젤라름 보 제스납든 라소 베카라니 카르와르듬 초반바르바베 파윤 제로송 디나장 집기 셈디네 그 판바 참모 잠락 먹비 로다야 만다버산 지지고 모드버도 바 임벤도 Rigillar kiena payum samjime jiba tobar mujugo dertayu samba shindar nibarkavi tsar pagam Pam Yang Pagam Yang Na Mayang Rong, Salandenji Pansum Yoda, Hadang Changchong Namja, Tsangba layang de yo tam sem chen te de nyalla ngun rang ton de ndri sem malam de yang mar mi na jan ton de na kalar ki jan de rang ton de yang mam jong sem chen ton sem kang sem ji ren chen kya bar de nga na me per mak ching chong ji song ba jin ji ten kam na sam ba kar wi chat de lang pa dang ma ni ji jang rang ge ver ji la kaze dang kaza dang kazar ji dang yep kun ji zam len de sang ji ji ko mo top na chma rong nyam bi sam ba ki yo ba ma yan no de jan don do kum zikam da yang panza ho de me ba dang dan bi chang ba la yang de ta yu sam ba zong bo tan ni ji myong wa yo ba ma yan de dang ji ten na chi 대단 지선나 체그를 접었으면 남장 jel라기나 판바 남지장 jel라 파마 파르와 남지장 jel라 무조고 디나른 그 jel라 상집지 셈기 제버 가와 곰라 기바 제버저 제테 시 캬네 삼로 땅나 상집지 셈랑 jel라 렘버 시발라 네캉성자당 곰초고 스템셴바당 초바 야침부 Gyachewa sogo sha teni sem tangwa le yanglok dan birgo ne tsok sogo ngondon tsok soba sogo ngondon nro kartem jorze sogi tram njigbo ma shiong na li long shi ti hong kiyo ngobo tamche yong so kwarjan gyandam koba tamche yella xar sha teni lama sangke chelan korne kchiji niki thala mangne bi tondab shangchibji sem tang kanzo shangchibji semgi payon gyachib jab shangchib semgi payon gyabram dongbo gyaba le xongba hui gyadang semche 정보 전직 파연 레거 레송바당 타마양 상동 레송바 간조 탐지 로버 제바당 도립되어 탐지 토버 제바나리 간심에 버선 지지 고모 토버 제비 상집지 셈대연지 스그제비 스그잡바테 니버더 흥원돈 로고 대연초나 라메 추샤베름바 남 흥원도 손에 다 상집sem랑 길라렘버 제바라 교도 랑 남게 라마게 유시연인데 디스음지 상제 담제담 년빈데 지당 밤데 말리밤 정으로 지식버 계류는 심상집지 셈지셔와 따따달라 영덕 버서 서른 자덕소를 년비 무근다 제벤디 지블론저 간로 탐접 독시점 토리람들 돈바가시 메버 전기 비상집sem람 초도 조르 상주sem족소 지랑슴 샤 데네블라미 교남라 Tiksam ki sarje tamchi ki kara ne kari wardo ftak shang shat pe tsar nan jikten kamsa payon chewa dan yondan chewa nab shang chib semle lakbajik met der tayu shang chib sem chogo gomba te kechang lam vijimbar shago nyambi nawa vijimbi mubaji lab lame nrowa te khun chigwa tsab meblo lakbar yonsub takna rin chewe nrowa ne dam charon dor nam ye rin chib shang chib sem Tambur zon ji langsik joba tene re savjo yang da band sak do mrmr sagzig ser miran jan mayin ba tamchit benri sagzilak sergi mari sipti ba ta nan jan plan ba jeb de jan ji jan ge yond buzum zog be gember mula logun khon lo tamchi gemnyam da sa tamchi da yang sagj da somala so me ba dan lam dar tan benri rang jim nyam ne jere ji ne ber jere ji langsik jo be ter ter jan gum buzum zog be wiz chur zer na zog gem dang ko ba tham je zambo jo bir monum 대전 뭐는 너무 대전지 전국 고발의 cir급 송바탐치대 용섭 gember 모라 탐지 지면도 전화 근도 하면 요즘은 로마 점자자 나도 소치비 여름 졸린 근도 검점 접전 임지 결지지 랑시 나모라나 자나모 건강 나모라나 자나모 어방가데 마드사르 라만다나 다단가다 하라다 담정도 다다 반저 메저 마베저 마딘 좀저 마바레 메저 마버도 잠저 마버도 마르 삼나나 서라카 마바람 부저드나 베저리 소알랑스 조도 지 장다르겐 바슴 소비 오이스 저리 Tam Jeba Tamji Turki Kongshua Jenja Varsum Mebra Yonsop Kante Rangranga Shanchip Ki Sem Kebi Hongbo Nyeto Jigbramu La Lame Shanchip Semjo Shanchip Samon Jongjo Jera Zanjechi Jera to Kongro Shoji Langchip Jobe Terzo Sari Choji Jiten Ramjam Na Jebe Jara Tam Jeba Tamji Ngonsum Do Shoni Gomil Ha No Tamso Ni Sum Mebra Kirnati Chitu Shanchip Ki Semji Domba Lembi Chokam Tar Mavshin Ki Varda Jara Tam Jeba Ngonsum Do Jigbramu La Lon Nyamda Mali Semji Kanim Gonjam Terda Honje Mazun Jonza Bangunum Mali Jim Chenjer 정도 고전에 들어서서 당당 rolati 주제 얘기 좀 돼. 저런 저바도 되나 대체 정도 지서 소리랑시 저 되네 여러 제담 제비 정도 시험차르반 랑리 권로 참임냠데 리기베 다르멍 기베 소란데 바다 이기베 요늘 지스 잠빌고네 시험차르 랑글리 당테 영치부 마엠바 잠메 동시르망보 Chene te tam che ki ba tam che bir go ne shong charo sam ba dang rang zam de ma zhen ta yi bi sem chen tam chi ji yang te shong charo mo lam che ban bar wa na reng ge li long shu ti song ge yong bo da zong dang dang yin zhen de zhi zhe yi yong bo chi ni yo ba tam che jiang ja ra che tam che ba tam che la yong zhen che bu sha go nian bi san ba da de ba sha ba la rang zhen tam che ji ji de do cha je na de me yi wang dang gu ling ge yak sam ji so ba dang wo che ba dang rang jin ka na ma do wa da ti zhe to ma me ba ne ta ta la de ge Varda giba tam chida ngar shin yo ba dang shin chud ma jibi tam ja ni na sim jin ba dang don bi to ni yin la ya ra chidam je ba hong bu zhe ne ten gi to dang shang chip ji sim de shang chim chog de sim ke ba la so ba ni bo kon de je bi to so to ji chang vir go ne er dig ba shag ba dang ji se ya ra na so su ke wo dang nyang to dang ra ja shang sang wa dang 상제 라소 베게서 저님 집에 담제도 척독 메퍼 게비 지스 여러 월 제바당 그런 소란 대바는 쪽지장 람점 납지베 상제도 상주 상화도 라마 게비 신님 남지 주진 고로 먹고르잠 냥은 다츠름 잡아테 탐칠라 덕 링거 이익심 기바단단 비고네 킬 남지 샘지 담지 거라다 무비 삼비 셰적당 담비 주진 고로 고라당 거비 거라 쩌쩌다 샘지 담지 용스 머동 냥 샘지 담치도 샘지 담치도 용스 머동 Marton, samjin tamji yons marton, samjin tamji yons marton. Samjin tamji yons marton ram nyang le man da bra jib. Kurjung soran de ba go nguan der ter yan zhe ge de be ge za ji nim ji ba dam zhe jiang tai yi bi samjin tamji lan na me bi shang ji ji to 돈的我的结果，年比木巴当这边，老公他们这几年的真的是从之前的电视上面一整个的话，他们这来当就怎么说什么都把家人他们这几年从这整个的那，家人跟那都成都了，这是当了当年三年这原来这边的这些样马里巴他们这家人都会这种话，我们这讲，俺家了讲这这家人跟你们都了这电视上他们这都没多他们的事情他们。말면 조동 들보단 배 저러도 돌아는 저번 남자도 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 심한 버마를 냐바던 고배 버마면 저번에 저러도 돌아는 저번 저번 대던 여러 탐진할 몸 정도 저번 놈의 놈 여러 거나 정도 저번에도 저도 뭐 레다도 대바도 기와지고 대도 남자도 저런 좀 여러 거는 란전 남들 로도만 로단 저거는 너무 가나야 대도 근데 가는 좀 지든 좀만 선조를 뭐 선용 그러면 내가 뭐 저도 남자랑 콜로나면 그런 거면 냐는 다른 감지 대도란 로가 간라 파죠 대위셔 거라서 그 돈이 주바요 더 같은 뭐를 저 소리 좀 정들어 좀 잡아들 지세로 저 그런 소리 그 가지고 더 좀 잡아담 저 시르고 지저도 대연치 지산 지선란 delalen bir ngunju chu changman zba yimbe da ngunju 금진 치주jer bo hlon charam들은 지명랑 be gomba chirta jando gomdo gonso soraksam hungondon rojan kyapsin roaksam gi jir zo gobe togmar khongbo chirdo gonso roksam dirjilomzo da chokjana jibesan ji tam chokjana jibesan jonde tamjana sabjana be jon zongo jimbo lamato jinda ba jimbo dala gonso ji langsum jo deni kyapsin roaksam no dabkati tanan ne zonti chirtun son ki komu mato verdi sanki 좀든데 권한때는 준 런천 샹집지 성소를 제르베 더바진 볼라면서 슬로 겐던는 디바 담지팀 조금 바보 겐던 초그남 쪽섭 땐내 산지 공포 용서 저버 샤고 냠다 담자던다 머고네 잡선 로르샤 데르터 잡선 로라니 손지 란ხsım 비지 초라한 대전 잡선 저지비 값을 라미 세고르지 타자다 냠다 켄나 란질라 더바진 부cap스 잡선 로버 돈바 토바임베 디 토블로당 가와당 기바츠 미빙안에 겸존디 지롬조다 장준영 범지 개발산지 나로 겸지 주론 장사와 초라한 대전 겸 지랑슴 저님 타르 세고르지 타자 냠다란딜라 캡둠 케어로 zamla tene 장집지 세모고 란딜라 렘버제발라 문바 지브 세모니 오베 문바나 sem진 담 조름도 불로당 지반 조르 용수 좀비 삼바 데 저저 혼지 데서 데서 바셔디다 바나고 호메다 제트 오존은 라소 바 sem진 담지 산지지 고모토 버셔 냠비 šan좀 저도 특기 바전도 다키경 sem진 담지 산지지 살랑고 버셔 냠비 대변도 장주상화 남지장 sem진 남산지지 고모라 고비 셔르다 저름 중화당 당점 공바당 투숨 공비 셔르처들 좀바 전도 다키경 람바 전도 플라버셔 냠비 담접시바 담접시다 람바금 담접시 람바 담접시다 람바 이거는 년님고 담접시 바감 담접시 바 담접시 대요 당보 준대님 nem고 호메바다 산지적자바다 야진 교바지르다 젠드니냐 교인지거 존레 촌말아서 점발 젬비 통마르 조름자다 텔레콤네시니는 름지랑가 샤양동 지역송바르다 당보 타나 로스티르 종즈점 연추지 잔랍진바타위 총름니 플랍데 남직 사토비언 이르급저랑가 샤트강 동와라 샤자양 세르나메 버고 회르나 마르나 동돈 디켈렘발라 근지 지니 강니 긴돈 제라스타르다 랑니 강유지 제트장수 상화 쇼바 라플라브르샤고 냠비장 좀 적도 셈케다 테르 셈케다 랑니 흥원도 손을 돈바티임 삼더 파고듬 케집 쳔보 남지 제츠르 만자와 몽보 요짱 나티 돈도나 랑슴 조비 탐압라미 세쿠리티 자담 냠도 몽바단 지비 셈 랑거 젤라 키버지로 냠비 토블로덤 제데 셈킨디 지블로 저드른 건지 되서 지상 좀 되는 게바다 장주삼 라바라 데도람 전 네바다 데준로라 판돈도 장주삼 규지장 데준도는 라바라 름바전도 플라브르 지 랑슴 조님 타르라미 세쿠리티 자담 냠도 렌습션 집기 셈 보제런 거jellar tiyor samne ti teni zon semchen tamchil lagno popsamba dans jorangamba monjir jinchig zinjig bulu tangar sarton mawshon wa terchid tsama shanchu sangwar terwa yimbe teni tsuglum chungi larni zimba yimbe mamta ya karchin chamxim zamla tsugsog jibab janvem tarar ngibir de sanjiji komo tobrin jerwa yena te tapkabir chanda sherib kabir changi mazim be wondu sheba yen kate tapkabir chan gizinna lam ngibjudur ta telejang chimnir de sanjiji komo tobrin jerwa yen deib jirna darjigi kanzag namji karab zambo yimbe semjingi tun jiba Jibin nibadan dam ngi jig de tisim jara tamji ji che dan shan su sangwa tamji ji pen da mamum kanro tamji ji zhugni de gong ne kanzang dongzhug she ba yin di ni changmi shan ji ji sim gong ne gong dam peri tabl mbachang gawa gomba gom go ti teran ne zon te dak mili toba te yang ton yo ber jer son nyam kanglag jena rang ne ti ta ne zon te sang ji ji rik shan ji sangwa ne ten jer kara zang bo to ngan jabi le dan nyom ba yong se kang kara chapa ji ren shan ji ji sem ne pa na khwerna Немкен майымбар гаммолуңа жикер, непи ер майымбар чыгдыр ди чотнер, непи нор майымбар евженки нора жигнена, артавир гаммолуңа жикен дыртави евженки нора жигер непаның ер мылым енна, татуң жала соғбе, влаг біріндерім немтех чифчив шебап жендер, непа по майымба сусукеван чаңа кандыр, непи ер майымба мағгеве ледан, Дочек жердан ласук бі ньому мовнеда. Непи нор майымбақ жызы жи лақцуқ тамчы жим жоңне рыншым шанчып жи сім ndını ndır непаны ngariga ndır mınım yınım tari çir karabzan ve rınçın xçuqla tıgyan yarvar mandur nyamda rang gawa gumbadan pçin diz jivlom zoda tandip dağzim jeve yomi çıbalıq bir teran sanji riksir sanji çizdan jir tanı dağ geçene rıdım da melevsim de kümüm zımberindler yomur men long çaltır pombole çırtırın jin yeberda devjin pom devjin dını devjin jista tene şans bizemde dolati ji laqçıp teyan çut rang gawa gumbayan dağ jang gawa gumbanın jikten kamsı Semchin yodo chok tamchit kyabarda gyarwo mamo tiran tangchung gongbola soba sanjijib tambala magawa semchin lano birshibish nangchit jima mayan tamchit ki nyonjig di terang dakka gyara chitam cheba tamchit da huangboru di terang dakki gyara chitam cheba tamchit huangboru jakte dakchik xu shibi semchin tamchit lam zhundu wuba yin zhundu wuni kir namlab zhindi kong jenag nirko ladang mib dewa kyabar jandang tartik vdegge samgi mi kibi rangjin sanji di gomong rumbo che te yoda teni ngi kelin tamjab shiba yin ngi ranga li tsarwa ya tamwar tongda jate xchuk ndurgu xiong Kelin tamjate mandur ngichin yin rang sosu xkatsak kanyang maggu bar vdak kuni kir namlav devab chamba yimbe kyotsuk gawa gomshik chuwa kizhik ti tangni zonter ngunchid vjinda rangam chaktok kolong diktsib ki sambater pongshik ngeb shanchib jibar shepala kir namgi pan chatok lachiyo kir goni rgyafkyur donchuk manjawa kizhik ji semchin tamchilak gawa gomdab chikba yimbe der David Tsikdun rjisi chamber gonen dir jivlu sam nyamdun zoda dakaterang pyoba tamche ji changan rola dekshig nye dangna warda de rondo wuzan ji ladan lam la so gawar ji ji lang chib joda de yan chu ji shang chib ji sim dombar ji la ji len sir zog ba yeno dam ji hungwa dar molam ji yan sir zan pa pa zang bu shu bin zog de chun chanin ji ge za dam ji hungwa cho shir shang chib ji sim don len ban da lar tom ba sang ji ne zong ja goro yang ji ka de ul chib ji zha ji wa le pi za mo sta wi zor da yang na Tomba Sandjene, Yersub Shambam Gumbu Gavdi, Tomen Yapchi Gipcher, George Adishir Peri, Yachushu Buktur Yang Yoda, Teni, Woyer of Sound Dana, Kamchi Zobachin Bosemin Asol. Circuit Somba Vision the Parcher Zamortavi Jordan, Tumber, Yach Shanch Kunjik Cookchan, the Dombalen Srian, Yoda. The Vision the Rings and Jimmy be Yondorum Bochi, Gavi Chardo, Somba Vision, Cambo, Concord Games up your journey, Zonjik, Dombalan Bichuga, Lalandam Chebayan, Yod, Dagna, Concord Domjin Samir, Dombadan, Semkit, Top New, Ranger Gelayan, Shanship Sim Chuma, Zanjiki Oper Lumba Yen. Terang kaps vapan shanchif kyunjik chimbo dang zangshu jirmonam di kokne de parcher zamortavi chorgi shugdam tanjar yachib shobi natyang dipir koni kirnamlar domba bogzan ba yin dedagle gipir domba lagbir toba yimbe tsame gawa gom do lama geyu shenyen le lembi wangdab shede parcher rjilo sheba yin zayan hwapchir tsanga J'ai partarna kyonji ke kok shi de changme jidu shi chur yang yoda dalan nge chak kok shonji ke shi zerb zang shu ji gyamba yin gang tar yang ngujib lama ge yu shi nyen le jidu shi de nod gu ba yin da nge chak gyun da chun chanim shi ba so da nge chak gyun da chun chanim shi ba so ge wa gang zhep yang tomar shang do lam bi choga shin da kar che wa yin Dina nizka chuchim gom tar jandun shertanda yang deva chanji deva chanda deva chanto deva chanda kevi deva kevi je chang jang chatang dan tsrdam tam pasum chobab samjimi kebi shagji kyabar janji yono da tamchi jibshan chib simjila kebi chunchanin la sobe gever tsawan dimsun Rangzin tiksimdib sabba gevar tsawa tamchak chigdib damde gang ngoro shawi yerna pandem jongna gyari tambarum bochib shukdi nirkib ganda tarjan gela yerrangda nebar kirwa tang tanzin ji gevar namjir kitseb tan zamchan ge tigjin tato gagme yivjin dundriba tang kyabarda rimikin roa shidang gusi woda gangri jongji gewum chogman tamchil la pan Sim Karjan, Pansim Karjan, Pambi Tonlap Zombi, Tanzanji, Kever Namgi, Tujid Yonsur Zobadan, Yambi Jarkum Ganda, Charcha Tisva, Lopchik Tagdala, Manatam, Shignat Tamchit Ginchat, Dirti Zordan, Tang Huarla, Jambar Tavi, Dergi, Pusum Zobam Jomr, Gerwa Tang, Rambu Matokbar, Tsangmayang, Shanchib Sim, Tsangmayang, Shanchib Sim, Shanchib Sim Gilam Laptenim Driva Sanjiji Gomon Tobar Ger, Denin Roa Rang Garkaradam Sambim Chenley Nirdun Dirgun in Rodum Kadam Nyamber Ger, the young Jetty in Jahur Hua Molum Jende, Jahur Hua Chertrim Kimbadan, Jibi Molum, Molum Gang Jena, Mao Karakanda Mercure, Tisha Mali Zobar Jibadan, Molum. Kanzuk Jena, Shobatana Child Majors, Yonder Namjong Sabon, Shobat Samebala, Nene, Tedam Chanzar, Jibar, Tata, Nechako, Tanju Tun, Shebala, Yati, Shansu Senhua, Sala Nebar Namji Yang, Sadzor, Maniba, Kansum Kur, Tone Trigde De, Chen Takbi Jang and Jembi, shared the Tulmun Zavje Damche, Hua, Molum. Jir dapra je sonum de tamchak ziban tomna ni bejan pamche kirganan chiradun chupum solin roa jor shogo ji jis jangyi tsogzong sogdan zangshur molum dim tab gembr shawo jibanda churji jin jimi pansong joni chirkid sonda janda kilo sudar di yigir risu shibago dani laglen rlajan nan dila Ngun ji ni ki parchir lore vision chunkur korwa tichin soks ndartar shangdong nangchur yopa vision dar jinjig namgi kyang ti dang tenne rang lemba gang janna mbogba chi kar chever nyamo savram mangalam.
This one, maybe there are a bit more words here, perhaps just a few more it probably took almost more than half an hour, right? So the previous part is for everyone to use as a reference. I think in the future everyone might use this too, especially when teaching others, or when you personally receive the Bodhisattva vows yourself. In fact, it's very important. I also hope, if I may, there are no classes these 2 days. I hope you will take the time to study the transmission I recited today, as well as the content expounded by the Dharma King thoroughly, because a lot of scriptural evidence is cited here, what the Bodhisattva precepts are and how they can arise in our mind streams. Principle, many of us have aroused bodhicitta, but perhaps have not truly generated genuine bodhicitta, or perhaps don't understand the importance of bodhicitta. In this case, according to convention, as is customary before our classes, we would discuss over 130 analogies from the Avatamsaka Sutra, or in other words, simply the chapter 1 benefits, chapter merits, or what is, for example, explained or taught in Maitreya's aspiration prayer, the merits of bodhicitta. These need discussion because of time limits. I know you also recited scriptures all day today, so if I were to drag this out for too long here, noticed in recitation, some people are actually receiving the transmission in their dreams. That takes real skill. Your practice is quite impressive. I truly rejoice in this. He kills 2 birds, sleep and get the transmission simultaneously. The state of such people must truly be beyond our imagination. So when I start teaching, some of you might also perhaps at this point, it is possible to be able to receive the Bodhisattva vows even while you are dreaming, allowing you to take these vows during a dream state. Maybe a few people can still do it. They're rather special after all. But for most people, I think it would be a bit difficult. So today, I'm thinking that we'll perhaps simply transmit the Bodhisattva vows to everyone. Giving Bodhisattva vows, you are studying the Vajra speech of the Dharma King, the wish-fulfilling jewel, which I have recorded completely. After recording it, I also translated it into Chinese. Thus, you should not face any language barriers. If the Dharma King, the wish-fulfilling jewel, were indeed present in person, his majestic presence, blessings and dignity would truly be unparalleled. But as for language, what is spoken is always, because nowadays, now more than ever, with recordings and audio, it's different than before. In the past, if one didn't have perfect recall, or for those with an average memory who don't have unfailing memory, dharani, it was probably certainly very difficult to record the Guru's Vajra speech in their entirety. But now we don't have this problem, because with audio recordings, you can pause them, write things down, and then pause again if needed. In this way, it's extremely convenient. We are also confident that we have recorded the Guru's Vajra speech in their entirety. In this way, I think many of us, truly remarkable, great Mahasattvas, we are not praising our own Guru out of attachment or bias, but should reflect on the Dharma King, the wish-fulfilling jewel, from every perspective. For a period of time, he truly was a great Mahasattva who came into this world, imparting essential Dharma teachings and instructions to everyone. Especially, he left us with exceptionally precious Mahayana and Vajrayana teachings. Now, even a single segment of his pith instructions and teachings we truly cherish with utmost seriousness. Today, just as I mentioned earlier, is a special day. On such a special day, I sincerely hope that each and every one of us, without exception, can truly generate genuine bodhicitta. This is also mentioned in Patrul Rinpoche's The Preliminary Practices, isn't it? Generating aspiration doesn't matter. Generating bodhicitta is what matters. Regarding generating bodhicitta, people say, I want to generate bodhicitta. Everyone can say this verbally, but in reality, for bodhicitta to truly arise in your mind stream, this is important, because each of our lives is in many ways still limited At most, if one lives a long life, say 100 years, very few people live to be 100. Same China. A few elderly monks may live past 100. But for most others, living to 100 is actually extremely rare. So, in our brief lifetime, if we leave this world without having given rise to bodhicitta in our own mind stream, it would be a great, great pity. It's just like the fundamental individual liberation vows in Buddhism, the highest individual liberation precepts, bhikshu and bhikshuni precepts. But these two sets of vows also only last for one's lifetime. When this life ends, the precept substance is also destroyed at the same time. In the next life, there may not be even a trace of the habit left. The Bodhisattva precepts differ as long as we don't have any violations at this time. Long as we do not break the vows. It should be said that through countless lives until we attain Buddhahood, the Bodhisattva precept substance will never be lost. Such important Bodhisattva vows, each of us, without exception, must generate bodhicitta, the mind of awakening. I think today, speaking for myself, I can probably say this. I have received them many times in front of the precious Dharma King, and often in front of other spiritual teachers. After receiving the Bodhisattva precepts, I also examine my own mind stream to see whether I have violated the Bodhisattva precepts or not.
Bodhisattva versus Pratimoksha precepts.
If they are broken, they can be restored each day when you retake them once again. It's like destroying something as precious and valuable as gold. However, on the other hand, personally, I think that as for the Bodhisattva vows, I can't say for sure. Today, the Dharma King spoke. In my mind stream, I give rise to bodhicitta. If that is the case, I dare not claim that I have genuine bodhicitta in my continuum. But regardless, from the time the Guru bestowed the vows until today, even though I have encountered all sorts of many various different things in life, such as people deliberately trying to harm or slander me, situations, I think to myself, no matter what I encounter, I should not have transgressed the Bodhisattva precepts. I can say with confidence about myself in this regard. Today, conferring these Bodhisattva vows to all these Bodhisattva precepts, I think that in the course of my life, no matter what I may encounter in the future, it really shouldn't be damaged or harmed in any way. Therefore, I hope that each of us as well, the most important Bodhisattva precept transgressions, I want to hurt everyone, or even thinking, if I get the chance, I will never help them again. Sent disgusting words, then the Bodhisattva precepts may be destroyed. Besides this, it is not easy to break them. On this point, all who have studied the Bodhisattva precepts should understand this clearly. So today, with this confidence, and for this very reason, I am also conferring the Bodhisattva precepts to everyone. First, we should receive these Bodhisattva precepts in the presence of others. Afterwards, every day we should recite the bodhicitta ritual. Actually today, according to the Dharma King's transmission of the Bodhisattva precepts, a pithy teaching merging the aspiration prayer of Samantabhadra and the Bodhikaryavattara, simple and easy to understand. It carries the blessings of the recent lineage, making it excellent. Soon everyone, whether you receive them yourself or transmit them to others, is extremely important. I also hope that every year, no matter which world we are in, as long as we are alive, Shakyamuni Buddha Dharma wheel, we must receive the Bodhisattva precepts. If possible, receive them in front of other spiritual teachers. If that's not possible, you can visualize yourself in front of you in space before you, inviting all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, as well as all spiritual teachers and Vajra Gurus in their presence. According to the profound view tradition of Nagarjuna Bodhisattva and Sangha Bodhisattva's vast conduct lineage are both acceptable. If we are to practice now, it should not just be a superficial formality, not like that. This is an important practice done once throughout this lifetime and life after life. I can't change myself. We should have a very firm confidence. Some do one thing today, believe something else tomorrow, with no real conviction of our own, very restless drifting, floating from one thing to another. From the perspective of Mahayana Buddhism, such people are generally unreliable and untrustworthy. We should have some fundamental practices of our own, such as upholding the Bodhisattva vows or generating bodhicitta. After coming into this world and learning Buddhism, I must give rise to this mind. And once I have done so, no matter what kind of experiences I encounter in this life, I cannot give up or abandon it. If we make such a vow, Dharma protectors of white teachings, gods, nagas, and spirits, they'll protect you. Many things will also go as you wish and be successfully accomplished smoothly in your life. So I hope that today as well, once again, for many people, this will become a truly major turning point in their lives. You were selfish, did wrong, and perhaps never even thought of benefiting sentient beings. Today, trusting Guru Rinpoche's or blessings of our lineage masters, ultimately everyone should take responsibility for their own lives. If we truly reduce our selfishness and self-interest and increase our altruistic bodhicitta, I believe our practice will make progress. If we do not have this, then even if you appear practicing Dzogchen, Mahakala, or Madhyamaka, no matter how deep these teachings may be, in reality you are just a selfish, self-centered bag of skin. For such a person, it's very hard to realize. Therefore, these core pith instructions, everyone must uphold them with an absolutely very firm and steadfast vow indeed. In this way, no matter what you encounter in life, you will not easily change your mind. As a result, your practice will also be successful. Otherwise, we will be superficial and flighty. Always simply follow the crowd. Without personal opinions. Today we say this teaching is great. Tomorrow we say the teacher is wonderful. Next day we say this Dharma center is great. People without their own views, without a sense of self. I spoke to the nuns too when they gave awards to all the nuns and Khenpos engaged in study, contemplation and practice. I also told them no matter what, whether we are studying, practicing or teaching, all of these are actually very important indeed, but it is crucial for each person to have a reliable method of practice. Impermanence, renunciation, bodhicitta, or even simply reciting the aspiration, you need to have such a firm conviction. And this conviction in your life, it's not good changing it. In my own view, for each person as a practitioner, if you really don't want to be a good practitioner, that's another matter, and I won't bring it up. But if you truly want to practice, then don't just make a show of it on the surface. You should, within your own mind, find the most supreme and most suitable such a trick. You should, throughout your life, and even life after life, continue to practice it regularly. This is a profound Dharma method, and this is very important. I won't say much more about it. Next, I will briefly explain to everyone as we go along. Today, he will recite while transmitting teachings. When reciting, we ourselves will use the Chinese text for our recitation. In this way, the booklet that was distributed to everyone the day before yesterday, you have it, right? If you do, if someone sitting next to you doesn't have the book and really needs to use it, let's just look at it together with them, all of us, carefully, right? This is how the Bodhisattva precepts are received today. First, it is said that you should take a moment to learn about and hear about the merits of the Bodhisattva precepts. I think earlier, according to many scriptural citations from the first chapter of the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, I have already explained them to everyone in general. So after this, I hope that our Dharma friends will carefully review it. We are followers of the wish-fulfilling Jewel Dharma King, his lineage disciples, but personally I feel ashamed, because about this record, when the Dharma King conferred the Bodhisattva precepts once, every time he quoted, he could recite it fluently and backwards. To be honest, I am extremely envious of that. Just now, when I was reciting the lineage, even with the text in front of me, sometimes it was, I memorized the start. But now, let alone reciting it from memory, even just reading the text itself is sometimes very difficult. Dharma, King, Rui, Bao, put all these, he had them memorized. we too should know and practice Mahayana Buddhism about the merits of bodhicitta. We should have such familiarity and proficiency. In this way, we ourselves should, with sincere conviction, have faith in the profound and wonderful merits of the Bodhisattva precepts, truly believing in their value. This is absolutely very important. So earlier, everyone should know that the merits of bodhicitta are immense. Just now, I also explained it to everyone from another perspective. In this lifetime, if we die without generating bodhicitta, it is an especially great regret. Even if you are a monastic in the Shravakyana, such as yourself, who is extremely pure, if you lack bodhicitta, it still is not sufficient. Therefore, in this life, whether layperson or monastic, no one knows how long we will live in this world. So while we are still alive, if the Bodhisattva precepts remain completely unbroken and fully intact, as we discussed earlier today, even if you fall into hell, it will be brief, like the snap of a finger. Therefore, on one hand, we should feel joy. 500 years ago, Shakyamuni Buddha taught Dharma at Deer Park. Today is especially auspicious. Buddhists all over the world also attach great importance to this festival. At this time, we visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions. If we take the Bodhisattva vows in their presence, blessings of Buddha's Bodhisattvas, the Bodhisattva precepts and bodhicitta within our own continuum will definitely become firmly established. Many people seem to be practitioners on the surface, but to truly, genuinely, in a down-to-earth and sincere way, have bodhicitta within may not be so simple after all. If we truly have bodhicitta in our hearts, then many things will be effortless for you. Many of the sufferings in life for you, because much of the suffering and many tears in our lives all arise from a self-centered mind and arise out of deep shame. If I possess altruistic bodhicitta, then the sufferings I consider significant in my life would be hardly worth mentioning, and I would face them with great ease, confidence, and a calm, unwavering determination. This is something I often think about. Many of the sufferings in our lives are due to the lack of bodhicitta. If we have bodhicitta, our suffering truly becomes especially simple. Suffering from selfishness. If we develop a particularly strong bodhicitta in our continuum, then such a person should live a happy life. No matter what the sufferings of life, for them, in their perspective, are truly nothing significant. From a worldly perspective regarding happiness in life, actually the best key is bodhicitta. This is how it is on a personal level. So next, as we continue following the steps outlined in our sequence, we will proceed to the following part, making sure to maintain, first, with utmost respect and sincerity, we humbly request the transmission of the Bodhisattva precepts at this time. Previously, in the Maitreya aspiration prayer, there is a section, easily dispel lower realms, clearly show the path to higher realms, guide beyond birth and death. Please grant bodhicitta. And before explaining this, we need to recite it 3 times. First, visualize the spiritual teacher embodying all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. We hope he will grant us a gateway to eliminate the lower realms and clearly reveal the path to the higher realms of gods and humans, ultimately leading to nirvana. For this, bodhicitta is absolutely necessary. We hope the Guru will grant us bodhicitta. That is the meaning here. I will now recite it in the Tibetan language, and you should also kindly request it in Tibetan as well. That is, in fact, the true meaning. I will recite it once, and everyone can follow along with me.
Ngandro tamchida lokshida jang Tori lamna rapton ba Gashime perenjengye ba Shangchiv simchugo zardak sur Ngandro tamchida lokshida jang Tori lamna rapton ba Gashime perenjengye ba Shangchiv simchugo zardak sur nganro tamchi de lokshe jang Tori lamne rapton ba Gashime peron remgye ba Shangchu semcho zarde sur
If you make this prayer 3 times, the teacher can then say, all Buddhas observed, and ultimately then discovered bodhicitta. If all sentient beings in the world are to be benefited, there is nothing more important than bodhicitta. Therefore, the teacher can recite the passage once aloud for the class, providing a clear example for the students to follow and understand. The content of the Guide of Beings with Wisdom observes,
Ndrovate khona chikpa tsamme lo lakbara yonsa tangna ranjiva Ndrova nedang char ndobar nam ranjim shanchiva sem lagab tambura zong.
This means that the Guide of Beings, the Buddha, across lifetimes, wisdom to observe, then discovered precious bodhicitta is rare here. It alone is truly capable of saving countless sentient beings. This is the specific phrase or statement that the teacher recites aloud one time in order to formally grant or give such permission to the student or group. Next, I'd like everyone to take a moment to carefully visualize as clearly as you can our entire world in your mind, and carefully arrange all kinds of offerings and decorations, as in the aspiration prayer of Samantabhadra and the Sutra of the Adornments of the Pure Land, as explained in those texts. And you should also think that this world is not as filthy as our current world, full of pits and bumps, uneven and varied, chaotic, not like that. Instead, it should be entirely like a world made of crystal, extremely magnificent, a world adorned in such splendor. At the same time, visualize our entire world as being magnificent and adorned. We invite all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas by reciting the offering mantra 3 times. Next, we will use the previous recitation, and everyone will recite together like this.
Namo Bhagavata Panchasara Jama Dana Dadaga Ahadi Saya Sambuddhaya Daya Da Om Panchar Panchar Maha Panchar Maha Deja Panchar Maha Bhaya Panchar Maha Bodha Chitta Panchar Maha Bodha Panchar Samsamana Panchar Savakama Vavaran Pushodana Panchar Soha Namo Janna Jaya Namo Bhagavata Panchar Sara Dana Dada Gada Ahadi Sanya Sambudaya Daya Da Om Banjar Banjar Mahaban Mahadada Banjar Mahabaya Banjar Mahabada Jada Banjar Mahabada Banjar Basanja Mana Banjar Savagam Avarana Bashodana Banjar Soha Namo Jana Jayaya Namo Bhagavanta Banjar Sarara Chama Dana Dada Gadaya Ahadi Sanya Sambodaya Daya Da Om Banjar Banjar Mahad Banjar Mahadanja Banjar Mahabaya Banjar Mahabada Jada Banjar Mahabada Banjar Basanja Mana Banjar Savagama Avarana Bashodan Banjar Soha.
After we recite the offering mantra 3 times like this, in our entire very dignified world, we sincerely invite all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, according to the verses in the aspiration prayer of Samantabhadra,
Guru Kote Samantabhadra's verses,
which means that the Tathagata surrounded by the assembly
all are warmly invited to gather under the Bodhi tree.
According to this method of invitation in the exoteric tradition, this is what we do when we receive the Bodhisattva precepts throughout the entire expanse of space, or we could say within our own worldly realm of existence. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas become witnesses. Now, as we continue, I warmly invite everyone here to join me, and together let us all recite these words as one, sharing this special moment, inviting the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. When everyone is visualizing, we just visualize that the entire world is also extremely pure, and at the same time we visualize all the Tathagatas also being invited into our pure land. Tathagatas invited in pure land, conferring the Bodhisattva precepts upon us and serving as witnesses. Before this, we perform the 7-branch offering before the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas with respect. Everyone should know about the 7-branch offering. First is the branch of prostration. We should all respectfully join our palms together with our bodies, respectfully pray with our speech, honor the Tathagata as we bow. It's not just oneself. Imagining many bowing to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It's not oneself imagining this transformation. All beings do so, prostrating Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. This is the branch of prostration. We prostrate before the Buddhas. We visualized. With this visualization, we then proceed to the offering. Everyone knows the offering. We offer body, possessions, virtue roots of 3 times, samadhi, concentration, using imagination, offering Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The third is the branch of confession. all the negative karma committed by ourselves and others, greed, anger, ignorance, body, speech, mind, self and Buddha sins, past karma. We confess before Buddhas, for opponent powers, for confession. The fourth is the branch of rejoicing. We rejoice in the virtues of ordinary beings, Shravakas, Pratika Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Buddhas, worldly and supramundane virtues and wholesome deeds. We rejoice in them without any jealousy or sense of competition, requesting the Buddhas to remain in the world, and requesting the turning of the Dharma wheel. These are the fifth and sixth branches. In all the worlds in the 10 directions, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, or spiritual teachers, if they are temporarily unwilling to remain in the world, we pray and request them to stay. If they are unwilling, we request them to turn the Dharma wheel. Finally, all of the above 6 virtues, as mentioned, we dedicate to all sentient beings, wishing that all sentient beings may quickly attain enlightenment. In this way, together, everyone. Oh, did it mention teacher and disciples together? Yes. Let's recite the aspiration prayer of Samantabhadra together. The recitation method of the 7 branch offering.
所有十方世界众生，是一切人世之，我以清净身语意，一切遍礼皆无余，无间心愿为胜利，普现一切如来劫，一生复现常成生，一遍礼常成佛，于一尘众生说佛，各诸菩萨众会众，无尽法界成一人，身心中佛界充满，观音一切因生海普出无尽妙言之，今于未来一切劫，赞佛身功德海，一诸最深妙法门，今愿度相继善感，如是最深庄严具，我以供养诸 相少相与等诸一切如妙高举，我悉供养诸如来，我以广大圣洁心身心一切三世佛悉不切心愿力普遍供养诸如来，我悉所造诸恶业，皆由无始贪嗔痴从生于一子所生，一切我今皆忏悔，十方一切诸众生二乘有学及不学，一切如来与菩萨所有功德皆随喜，十方所有世界的最终成就菩提者，我今一切见全尽转于无上妙法轮，诸般若于是涅槃，我悉自存而觉尽，唯愿救诸杂尘界，离了一切诸众生，所有力战供养不尽佛诸世转法轮，随喜忏悔诸善根，回向众生及佛道。
With this, the preliminary section for receiving the Bodhisattva precepts is now complete. Next, we will now proceed to the main practice of receiving the Bodhisattva precepts. According to the omniscient Longshen Rabjam, the Venerable Vimalamitra, and Jigme Gyalwai Nyugathat is, according to the tradition and intent of these masters, what is required It is always based on the threefold supplication for blessings and the threefold refuge. This has always truly been the understanding. Therefore, whenever we receive the Bodhisattva precepts each day, we do it this way as well. Use before, after practice, per their requirements, 3 blessing supplications. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, as well as the Vajra Gurus, are called upon to bless us. Receiving precepts, it is essential that they serve as witnesses. This is the meaning. So now I will recite in Tibetan. Please follow along and recite together with me.
Chopjana Jigbo Sanje Jundande Tamchetang Sapjana Nebi Shangchu Senhua Chimbor Nam Lama Durjin Zamba Chimbor Nam Dala Gongsu Sor Chopjana Jigbo Sanje Jundande Tamchetang Sapjana Nebi Shangchu Senhua Chimbor Nam Lama Durjin Zamba Chimbor Nam Dala Gongsu Sor Chopjana Jigbo Sanje Jundande Tamchetang Sapjana Nebi Shangchu Senhua Chimbor Namdang Lama Durjin Zamba Chimbor Nam Dala Gongsu Sor.
Previous one was Buddhas remember me. Bodhisattvas of 10 directions remember me. All the Vajra Gurus of the 10 directions now remember me. The 10 Bhumi Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, great Vajra holder Guru. After we have prayed to the Guru 3 times in this way, with sincere respect and a focused mind, as is customary about taking refuge, everyone should know, until the attainment of Bodhi. With deep reverence and respect, we sincerely take refuge in all the Tathagatas, honoring their wisdom and compassion, in bodhicitta and the true Dharma of all Tathagatas. The true Dharma is bodhicitta, and the dedicated practitioners who uphold bodhicitta, these are indeed the gathered assembly of bodhisattvas. From now until the attainment of Buddhahood, I take refuge in the Buddha and in the Mahayana Dharma of bodhicitta, and in all dedicated practitioners who uphold the Mahayana Dharma. Manjushri Bodhisattva, Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, generating such bodhicitta. For those of us who have never received the refuge vows before, take these refuge precepts. If you have already received them before, it is good to take them again and again, the more the better. So next, we will also recite together
Shangchu Nyambom Chiji Warer Sanje Namlar Japsum Chu Chudam Shangchu Senhua Yi Chola Devjin Japsum Chu Shangchu Nyambom Chiji Warer Sanje Namlar Japsum Chu Chudam Shangchu Senhua Yi Chola Devjin Japsum Chu Shangchu Nyambom Chiji Warer Sanje Namlar Japsum Chu Chudam Shangchu Senhua Yi Chola Devjin Japsum Chu Tabi no.
You have now received the refuge precepts. I think everyone should have. I see that you all recite these verses really very smoothly and clearly, right? Because you recite it really every day. You're all truly remarkable. Just now, both the earlier part of the presentation and this part were accomplished very well indeed. This is the safe refuge, the one that you seek. Now, next comes the genuine and actual Bodhisattva vows in this process. The Bodhisattva vows are in the following verses for generating bodhicitta. At this point, we will carefully recite them 3 times. We recite the last time. I will snap my fingers like this. At that moment,
you should think in your heart that you have received the Bodhisattva precepts. Earlier, I also mentioned this. Let me once again emphasize it here. Because in the past, some of us have never truly generated bodhicitta in front of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and in front of the Vajra Master. I am very serious indeed. Like when we do anything, for example, in every country, there are certain things. He wants to join his team, and the party, at that particular time, they are required to formally take an oath. So for us to enter the Mahayana path today in this shrine hall, there are many Buddhist scriptures and statues of Buddhas, as well as many beautiful images of the masters. And we visualize in the expanse, inviting all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, as well as lineage Vajra masters. In this way, we ourselves should also be extremely sincere. This motivation is not like, I came here today, really, just to get something to eat, nor is it any other kind of distracted mind at all. We should, in our lives, just as in the world, for example, when a person gets married, they attach very great importance to the day itself. Or, for instance, the most significant change in a person's entire life, they will always remember it without any doubt, very clearly. We should be the same way. If you have previously generated bodhicitta, you can continue to gradually increase and further enhance it. If you have never truly generated bodhicitta before, even once, then today, whether it is our entire preliminary, as well as all of these rituals, I personally believe that it is complete and flawless. Although I may not necessarily be qualified to transmit the Bodhisattva vows, but I think I can also do one. For example, if someone represents a country, for instance, representative is not very special. But if they sign on behalf of the country, they have that authorization. So from a certain perspective, I personally feel that today we should all really treat this as the most important event in our entire lives. Absolutely. Because if you have generated bodhicitta, from then on, you have truly, truly become, as stated earlier in the Bodhikarivatara, your name has already become Bodhisattva. In fact, you have truly become an object of prostration, offering and veneration for both humans and devas. Your significance changed, so did your title. To reach this state, we ourselves must have a very strong aspiration to become a bodhisattva. Some people have told me being a bodhisattva isn't very convenient. It's so exhausting, so difficult. I'd rather just simply be a shravaka. When it's time to recite, you just don't need to recite it at all. You simply don't need to repeat it. If you think, I definitely can't be a bodhisattva, being a bodhisattva is too tiring, too hard. But I think it's really not easy for us to have obtained a human body. At this time, if you truly, truly have bodhicitta in your mind, this is extremely important among Buddhists today. We have also encountered many Buddhists, but many Buddhists from different backgrounds haven't developed the mind of, haven't even generated renunciation. They just get a refuge certificate for themselves and muddle through life, dazed. If that's the case, it's actually really not very genuine. We truly hope that when we encounter such a teacher and encounter these Mahayana teachings, we ourselves should truly become bodhisattvas in name and in fact. In our future lives, there may be times on certain occasions when others harm you, and sometimes you may come close to losing your bodhisattva vows, but we can confess and take them again. First of all, if we have received the bodhisattva vows well, in the future, they can be replenished, continually increased. This is extremely important. I truly and sincerely hope that in today's session, many people who have never generated bodhicitta before will truly give rise to it, and those who have already will make it even more complete and truly perfect. It serves the purpose. So next, just like when we take certain oaths in our lives, people swear before God. Some swear skyward and some swear in front of... But when taking an oath, it's not that they visualize nothing. It's not like that. Otherwise, it just ends up becoming nothing more than lip service. Isn't that right? It shouldn't be like that. So for us today, we aim to liberate all sentient beings. We wander in samsara, truly experiencing countless births and deaths, and have not attained liberation. Why is that? If today we truly give rise to bodhicitta, we will begin from the path And then gradually we will have at last the very beginning of liberation, a hope for liberation. If we do not give rise to it in any way, then in this cycle of samsara it is endless, and we will never be liberated, drifting without end. So for each of us here in this moment, not to mention sentient beings for ourselves, the suffering we have endured in samsara is already enough. Birth, aging, illness, death, or we have already had enough of all kinds of afflictions. So we really hope that each person from now on can truly give rise to bodhicitta. If we do this, I truly believe that our proud lineage as a family, with its many unique blessings and truly extraordinary power, this point, including myself, is truly like this. Before I gave rise to bodhicitta, my temperament was bad, as mentioned before. When I was back in elementary and middle school, there were traces of fights everywhere, truly. But ever since, I was welcomed and embraced by the vast mind of my beloved, precious Guru. I have also encountered many such things myself. Some of you may already know about them, some may not. In my life, I have truly been framed for no reason at all. If I hadn't had this change, I will definitely, absolutely not give up. In many situations, as we know, after all, we are all human. If you treat me like that for no reason, then I would definitely, at the very least, fight back. I should definitely be able to do it, given my previous habits. I'm not someone who's particularly timid by nature either. And I used to enjoy fighting quite a lot. I used to take a special kind of pleasure in this sort of thing, but later I realized that life is very short. The most precious thing I have is bodhicitta. No matter what happens, I must never abandon this bodhicitta. So many times I also feel that after I generated bodhicitta, at the very least, there have been some changes in my appearance and demeanor. I hope many of us...
From today, it is July 24, 2020, in the Gregorian calendar.
And the 4th day of the 6th month, each person should experience some change within their own heart. This is the main purpose of us taking the Bodhisattva vows today. If we truly give rise to bodhicitta, then in the next life, for many lives, your vow will never be lost. Everyone should be absolutely clear about this. Next, we will recite it together twice. Before this, I just selected a recording of the precious Guru bestowing the Bodhisattva vows at that time. Although using this recorded voice can't receive vows, I think we can still receive a kind of blessing from it. Or we could say the precious Guru once bestowed these Bodhisattva vows upon us. So today, let us listen again once more and see how the Guru, with great compassion, bestowed the Bodhisattva vows upon us at that time.
그때 라니 연도 손 다 돈비야 긴 상들라나 보고 긴 피치 보면 위에 틀면다 뭐였죠 다 නැති도 그러면 난 숨이 뒤서나 라가야나 야라니 세고지 답시가다 냠도 몸바단지 비상지 생각이 길라키는 세고지 답시가다 냠도 몸바단지 비상지 생각이 길라키는 산지 대토로 길라 기가 시퍼존라 디지루 저탄원지 대사디 샤주 틀려 제바도 샤주 태양이 라바라 대다그럼 좀 이발따라 대전도라 판돈도 샤주 때문에 제제요 대전도나 라바라 럼바전도 라바라죠
Now let's listen to how the Guru bestowed them back then. Now we will formally transmit it to everyone.
When bestowing the vows, first recite it twice. At the end of the third recitation, simply take a brief pause. You should think to yourself that you have received the vow's essence.
Chertarhungi de Shati Shansu Tugna Kepata Shansu Sanhui Labala Dedagram ne Bartar Dejan Rola Pandundo Shansu Semna Kijan Dejan Dana Labala Ramba Jenda Labarugyo Chertarhungi de Shati Shansu Tugna Kepata Shansu Sanhui Labala Dedagram ne Bartar Dejan Rola Pandundo Shansu Semna Kijan Dejan Dana Labala Ramba Jenda Labarugyo.
I've recited it twice. On the last recitation, I gently snapped my fingers. That time the teacher did both actions. One was snapping fingers, and the other, since there was a crowd, he would clap his hands like this. Whenever you hear either of these two sounds, for example, each of us should consider at this moment, oh yes, I have indeed heard this sound. I received Bodhisattva precepts. From this moment on, here and now, I have now already obtained the Bodhisattva vows. I have already generated bodhicitta think in this way. Now I will repeat it, just one last time.
Chertarhungi de Shati Shansu Tugna Kepata Shansu Sanhui Labala Dedagram ne Bartar Dejan Rola Pandundo Shansu Semna Kijan Dejan Dana Labala Ramba Jenda Labarugyo. Oh yeah.
Now that you have received the Bodhisattva vows at this important moment, next gently cultivate the lasting joy of both yourself and others. For your own joy, you should think, after all, today I have received the Bodhisattva vows. My human life has truly become meaningful. From today onward, I have truly been reborn in every sense. And now belong to the family of Shakyamuni, and have now truly become indeed a devoted and sincere child of the Tathagata. From now on, no matter what it is that I do, I should not in any way damage the lineage of the Tathagata. Because we possess a stainless lineage, I am like a blind person who has found, or like someone who has found a piece of gold in this human body so full of karma and afflictions. I have obtained the especially precious bodhicitta like a wish-fulfilling jewel. First, everyone should take a moment to prepare themselves and make sure they are ready before moving forward. Whether you repeat it or recite it together, both are fine. Let's recite it together now, all of us, shall we?
Zan 金山如来子，二号无当为一护佛主也，什么然无知无垢尊贵中，有如目盲人，非具或自保，身自不提心，如是我何行？
This is to give rise to joy within oneself. For us here, maybe we shouldn't talk about Mahayana bodhicitta before at this point. We may not even have generated renunciation or thoughts of the impermanence of life. If in this very life we have such a wonderful opportunity, we should give rise to great joy. Secondly, we should in particular help others give rise to joy. If you have generated bodhicitta, all other spirits, ghosts or rakshasas, or any non-human living beings in this world, should also feel joyful. Because if there is even a single bodhisattva in the world, it is extremely beneficial to countless worlds. In the future, for sentient beings in countless worlds, we will not only help them with ordinary basic food and clothing, life after life, provide them with temporary happiness and ultimate benefit. Therefore, today, I also announce to all sentient beings throughout the world that I have now generated bodhicitta. All of you should be happy. From now on, I absolutely will not harm you, and you should not bully us Buddhists either. Don't think that if everyone's a bodhisattva, we can actually take advantage of them, but that's not right. If we have such an altruistic mind, all these coarse and aggressive behaviors will naturally, eventually disappear soon. So this world should become peaceful after all. All happiness will also be within easy reach for you. Next, let us bring joy to others. Let us truly bring joy to others. Everyone, all of you, now let's please recite together, everyone.
今于护足前，言中为常宾，言相成佛乐，不愿见欢喜。
All right, with that, today we are attending the Bodhisattva Vow transmission ceremony, a significant event where we has now been successfully completed. Indeed, next, let us dedicate all the merit we have accumulated to all sentient beings as boundless as the sky. May the Dharma flourish and reach perfection. May all beings experience great happiness. May the entire world become in peace and harmony, like the beginning of a kalpa. May all physical worlds and all sentient worlds be auspicious at 6 times. With this aspiration in mind, let us all truly dedicate together.
Bandara